Welcome, Columbus State, to another exciting episode of Based on a Future True Story. Today's topic, we're referring to how far we've came in the digital age and technology compared to back then, like 1990s, now, present day 2015, and possible futures. Um, Here, I have my co-host on the other side of campus giving their insight and also asking the people a few questions. Aww. Oh, hey. This is another episode of Based on a Future True Story, and we're in Shawty Says Florida. No, seriously. Today we're going to be talking about robots and how we thought of them as children. Because my favorite show when I was a kid was Jimmy Neutron. And Jimmy Neutron had like the coolest of everything. And if he didn't have it, he had a way of making it. And he had a dog named Goddard. He had anything he could possibly ever want. And as a child, that stuff seemed so real. Because he was like, when I get older, I'm going to be like Jimmy Neutron. They're going to teach me how to do all this stuff in school. And they didn't. And they didn't teach us pretty much anything that I could use in the real world in school. But that's besides the point. But it just really opened your eyes to all the possibilities and your imagination was like super huge. But then when you actually got to the age that we are now, it's kind of like, where's our talking dog? Where's X-ray vision? Like, we had none of the fun things that we thought were going to happen as adults. And I guess I wonder what the creators of those shows were thinking about, because that was 10 years ago and now we're 10 years past that. And I just really want to know, what were they thinking about when they decided to make a show that envisioned robots and all these super cool things that could happen, because our children won't have those same shows that we have now. And I don't know how their imagination is going to work, but I know our imagination is really big. And I really just think I should get a second opinion on this, and I'm going to pass it to my friend Dee Dee.
Alright, I'll make this quick. Here's my segment of Based on a Future True Story. Really fast because I have class in 30 minutes. So as Sharice was saying, cartoons back then, yeah, everyone expected to have like a pet like Goddard. But unfortunately, I'm on the more realistic side of life. I can actually envision iRobot and Terminator faster than that. So, sorry. But in all seriousness, I like robots kind of like how in Benchwarmer, how he just randomly made sandwiches for the whole team. Stuff like that. Helpful and reasonable things. So, granted, there's toys for kids to keep them occupied, but they're not like battery operated and just you have a controller that you give them and that's just it. They're actually interactive. Like if they make a certain sound or clap a certain way or say certain words, they respond back. They follow them, they go to sleep, they wake up, stuff like that. And even for adults, kind of like healthcare. Back then with things like open heart surgery, no one's perfect and everyone's hand isn't as sturdy. But now, these days, yeah, there's someone operating it, but it's a robot more so being precise, still, and operating. And in a couple years or so, I do expect to see more with robotics. For like now, they have robotic arms and legs, but that's external. I want to see internal things, like someone who's never walked like a day in their life, like just getting up and moving, like nothing ever happened to them, but with the help of robotics. But something that interests me is what happens to robotics like 10, 20, 30 years from now.
Alright, real quick, before my professor notices that I'm really not in the bathroom right now, can we talk to you guys a little bit, put my input in on this vlog. I know Dee Dee was talking about, Terminator, iRobot type things and things like that. But 20, 30 years from now, what would it be like? I always imagine like in Teletubbies, a little robot vacuum cleaner cleaning up everything, robots being maids and things like that. What if I had a robot driver? That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Or maybe my assistant was a robot. But would that be asking for too much? What if robots controlled the world? I'm not sure, but it's a crazy thought to think about.
You know, just with all the futuristic things that we could always possibly dream about, will we really want robots doing it? Because then robots could take our jobs, and then what money would we have? Food for thought. But, you know, 20, 30 years down the road is so far from now, we're not sure what the technology could be later on. But for now, I'll be content with the stuff that I have.
Do you possibly feel like one day maybe the world could be ruled by robots?
Oh, that's a great question. I watched iRobot the other day, and I was like, feasibly that could happen, but I don't know. As long as we control it and don't let it get away from us, I think we'll always be in control, if that makes sense.
So you feel like you'll have like a positive or a negative effect?
I think it'll be positive because look at all the advances that are helping us in the world now. It will take away from like this kind of conversation, like personal communication, but I think as far as like helping with the workflow of life, it'll help.
All right, thanks, Reagan.
You're welcome.
I think one day they will. Well, for the most part, I think they'll be doing mostly everything we're doing, besides maybe driving cars. But yeah, I think they're gonna end up taking all the jobs.
Do you feel like it'll have a positive or a negative effect?
I mean, it'll be good, but sometimes I feel like technology is taken away from the personal aspect of things. So, like, you know, face-to-face conversations, we're starting to do more stuff over the internet. Then eventually, I think the main form of communication will be through text messages and emails.
Thank you.